the Best You Podcast. The sole purpose of this podcast is to teach, inspire, and motivate everyone to be the best versions of themselves. What's up, everyone? It's your man LD Larry Dawson, and we're back for another episode of the Be the Best You Podcast. Today I have a super cool guest on. I have Dr. Mike Carlisle that's come on. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, my friend?
Good, man.
Thanks for inviting me on the show here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell everybody that's watching or listening a little bit about yourself, your backstory, what you do, and what got you into it.
The backstory, no pun intended, too, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm a chiropractor. I'm a second generation chiropractor. Okay. My father came to this country from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go back on that, and I'm in the same office. We've been there for almost 37, 40 years.
Been over there in South Florida?
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely. So yeah, we've been around for a while. So what I do for work, I'm an acute care type chiropractor. That's how we know each other, because you're in the fitness business. And so when I say acute care, we're treating just more than just adjusting the spine. Okay, we're going to do more muscle, soft tissue type stuff like that. You know, the dry needling, the ultrasound, electric stim, but most importantly for people are out there, decompression. If you're working out, you have to lift that disc up after a while because it compresses. That's a lot of the problems that we're dealing with in gyms these days.
Yeah, I'd say that's where a lot of people's lower back pain comes from.
Correct. Yes, and bad form. That's where you guys come into place. You guys, it's one big wheel. We're all different cogs of that wheel.
Yeah.
You know, and like we can fix it. I can fix someone's back all day long, but if they come in to the gym and the form's not right, and I would have no way of knowing that. Mm-hmm. Right? But one of the fourth or fifth time you come back to the same injury and say, your form's wrong. Where's your personal trainer? Seriously, that's a serious note here.
Yeah, like what you doing in there?
Right, what are we doing in here? Let's slow it down a little bit. You know, slow it down.
It's funny you said that because I have some questions for you and we're going to touch on that. But I always tell people, like, being healthy isn't just going on a diet. No. Or isn't just working out. Or isn't just going to doctors. It's a lot of things. It is a lifestyle. It is eating healthy. It is taking the proper supplements and vitamins. It is working out. It is doing routine maintenance like massage therapy, chiropractic therapy.
Absolutely.
And just living an overall healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can't just pick one and, I'm good. No, there's several avenues of this.
And we tried that in the past, right? So we've been stuck into this marketing. We'll throw something on the internet. You know, this one thing's going to take care of it. That special fruit flavor thing that you drink a capsule of. Yeah. And saying that's replacing food. So, and then working out as well. So when my things I'm dealing with working out, most of it has to do with like bad form and just overall. So one of the things I harp on too, because we have some people that, most of the people come in there, they want to get themselves more fit and more movement. Because our motto is keep on moving, right?
Yes.
Okay? So after a while, you just start seeing something. After about the fifth year in the practice, I started to see the same stuff over and over again, same injuries over and over again like that. So I started reaching out to my personal trainers at my own gym, you know, and then talking to them. And ironically enough, because I was getting people with them to get their form together, I realized, man, you know what? I haven't spent the time myself to get the proper form going.
Yeah.
Because is it not a repetitive process?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you do something enough, even in the gym, it could be rows, it could be bench, it could be squats. Yeah. Your body, when you go, let's just say you've been doing it for a year straight the same way. When you go in there, you don't even have to think about it. Your body just immediately goes to doing it that same way.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then for someone like you that you teach it, you're not going to get off track most likely, right? Because it's repetitive like that. For everyday like me, here's what I do, okay? Every so once in a while, I just get myself a personal trainer. I spend my 3 or 4 weeks with them to get everything back in part. I need a second pair of eyes. Yeah. You know, I've been working out all day, every day for 30 years, something like that.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah.
You know, and so one thing I've seen for at least a decade now is that the majority of shoulder injuries occur on chest day.
Correct.
And the reason that the majority of shoulder injuries occur on chest day, it usually has to do with either your bench press, whether it's incline, decline, regular, dumbbell chest press. People tend to go high like this because their chest isn't strong enough to support the amount of weight that they put on there. So instead of pushing from like a 90-degree angle like this and pushing with your chest, they flare out wide and they push high, and they push, and the pressure comes right here on their shoulders.
Absolutely.
And they end up hurting their shoulders.
Yep.
So I always tell people, no, take the bar down almost to like your nipple level, tuck your arms in a 90-degree angle, and push up with your chest.
Absolutely.
And you would be surprised how many people, and I had to show people, like I'll sit them down and I'm like, now watch this. Push this way, their chest will pop up. And I'll like, now do it the way you use one like this. And when they do it, their shoulder pops up. I said, you're using your shoulders to compensate because your chest can't handle that much weight.
Correct. And another thing, you hit it right on here. So coming right here, you're not external rotating your shoulder. Okay. So let's talk about external rotations. Okay. Because when that's done, rotator cuff, labrum. Okay.
Big trouble.
So if you're trying it, but seriously, just say, I want you have to take that home with you today. Everybody has to take that home with them. This is different than coming up here. You're already externally rotating. Okay. So my injuries are flat bench. Okay. Of course, we want people to do flat bench. Okay, especially when you're younger, because you want that range of motion. I get it. I've been there. I still do it, but not as much as I used to. Okay, but when we come up here like that, you're already in external rotation. The amount of pressure you're putting there at the labrum and your rotator cuff is, one little jerk. It's just a matter of time, basically. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. And again, it might not happen every time, right?
No. Yeah. You're gonna feel some soreness in your shoulders, which should let you know you're hitting the wrong muscle.
Spot right there.
Hopefully you don't get to the point where you feel that other pain.
Yeah. Okay. But let's go. Hey, all right. Let's go back up when we're just a tad bit younger, though, right? Okay. Because remember, we
push right through
we throw plates around all day long. Period. Right?
Yeah.
So I will say this though, if you're in your 30s, man, if you get some stiffness or like that, but when you're young in your 20s, you might not feel that. Yeah. Okay. Because you might have just done back the day before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or shoulders and think, I'm just sore from what I did shoulders yesterday.
Yeah. But again, we'll look for the warning signs right there. A burning's an obvious one. Yeah. Okay. But get some cavitation, some clicking and popping. It doesn't belong there, right? We come back and do it back right here and get deltoid pain. Yeah. That you can't pull back as much anymore. And that doesn't make sense because you're rotating your workouts, right? Yeah. So all that different stuff, just form.
Yeah, so if you guys watching or listening, keep this in mind. If you are doing chest and you're doing a chest day and you start to feel a burning right here in the front of your shoulder, understand clearly that you are mistargeting and you're hitting shoulders that you shouldn't be hitting. Adjust your form so you'll hit your chest. Because it doesn't matter how heavy you're lifting or how many sets or reps you're doing. If you're not doing them proper, you won't see the gains. If you can take the weight down, you can take the sets and the reps down and do the form proper, and you'll actually see more gain, and your chest will become bigger, and you will see the muscle gain that you're looking for.
And I agree. And another thing, so I'll add to that. Let's quit guessing. You got YouTube and you got personal trainers that are actually throwing this stuff out for free. And if that doesn't work fine, you need to get yourself a personal trainer because once you learn things the right way, it's not going to go stray, and you're going to stay with it. Okay, I tell you what's really going to mess up your working out is hurting yourself. Oh yeah. Okay, so if you're not used to being just say a person athletic, they're semi-athletic in high school, play sports, stuff like that, but we want to lose our weight, we're going to firm our body, we want to improve our lives overall because body image is just like one little speck of this stuff. Feeling good, it's what it's all about. Yeah. And then you get into there and do all that stuff, and you're not getting anywhere. There's a reason why that, And I'm telling you, I have a lot of education, all that stuff like that. I still have to learn.
We all do.
It's a constant learning process.
That's what life is, learning, right?
That's what I heard.
All right, so I got some questions for you. Sure. Let's dig into them.
Cool.
What set you down the path to become a chiropractor?
So, I'll tell you, there's two things, okay? So my father was a chiropractor. I told you that. I grew up with my mother, so I spent most time up there. I knew he was a chiropractor. Didn't know much about chiropractic at that point in time. Because back then, I'm 53, so we weren't exactly flying back and forth a whole lot back then. And then my first stinger in football, okay? I was running on kickdown team right here, and I was going straight down, and I laid in, knocked the ball out, okay, but also my shoulder at the same time, okay? And then, this is a long period of time. You don't run there weren't clinics on every corner, okay? Yeah. So we went to our chiropractor. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Gary, Indiana originally.
Gary, Indiana?
Yes, correct, originally, yep. Hobart, Indiana. Give a shout out to Hobart, Indiana as well, please. you didn't run out to the doctor all the time back then. There weren't clinics like that, and you would see your chiropractor, and he would put it right back into place like he should have, like the old store chiropractic on that.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
get your good thorough exam, do all that, adjust it. The truth of the matter is, my first adjustment scared the living, you know what, out of me. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a big man, and he adjusted me. Seemed like pretty quick, but I was in so much pain. Who knows? Okay. All I know is the next day I was back, and I was at my practice the next day, from a stinger to that. Okay, because my neck was like this. That's why my mom took me. Not because the stinger was down here, because my neck was like that. And that's my first experience with chiropractic. And I will say this one time. Now, one thing when I do adjust, I slow things down and I explain things before we're going to do the TikTok trick crack,
Yeah.
Because I will say that it was my first experience, but looking back on it, I wish we got a little bit slower on that, because it took about the next injury for me to get back to him. Once I back the second time, which was for ankle and lower back injury, I went on a routine basis.
What brought you down here to Charlotte to open up, the clinic that you have now?
Well, I dipped down because I spent when I came down to see my father, I tell you what I did. I was cleaning his parking lots. I've been around that clinic for a long time. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So I come down and visit him for a month, and I'd spend a lot of time at the clinic. And then I came down and worked for him one summer. That was the most transforming summer I've ever had. Okay, number one, I'm 18 years old and I got an opportunity to work at a clinic.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah, and it was, and I took full advantage of it, and so we learned all the therapeutic type stuff right there. And then I've always been like you. We've always been working out guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we're always looking for the next way to get back out there.
Yeah.
And when I figured out the chiropractic was one of those things to reset and recover like that, I just took it that many levels above that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the same thing with the nutrition. So we're talking about one thing, chiropractic, but we're talking about nutrition. All that stuff. Once you introduce that stuff, you're always going to be looking for the next level up. And it's not a next level to debulk or anything like that, just to feel good and keep on exercising.
Yeah, and nutrition, we basically are what we eat.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's crucial. How old were you when you officially moved to North Carolina for good?
So I moved in '97 from St. Louis, and I started practicing. I started with my father, and at that point in time, we had 3 different clinics and I think like 6 different doctors at that point in time. We were Charlotte was fresh back in '97, that stuff like that. Now we sold those clinics, and we're located at South Boulevard.
Okay.
And we've been there forever, and it's good. So some of my patients, I've seen their grandparents. It's pretty wild.
Family affair.
It really, I'm just so blessed to have the opportunity.
But that's good though. In the business world, I own 3 businesses myself.
Yeah.
And there's no business like good business.
Absolutely.
I tell my workers, I pay my workers really good at one of my businesses. I'm not going to put my personal business out there, but one of my businesses, I have several workers, and I pay them really good.
Yeah.
And I pay them better than they're going to get paid anywhere else. And I tell them, I say, look, man, I need you guys to do something. When you go to do these jobs, I need you to do really good work at these jobs.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do good work, why would they pay you that? They could pay someone else to do it. Why would they tell anybody else about you? Why would they keep coming back to you? Yeah. But if you do good work, they will come back to you. They will send other people back to you.
Absolutely.
Their family will do business with you.
Absolutely.
There's no business like that.
Yeah, and if you approach this like you're in your community versus pulling $1,
Yeah.
because there's plenty of people just trying to pull $1, okay, and put your time in, and spend time in your business.
Yeah.
Get to know your people in there.
Yeah.
Because things go too fast right here. My friends are my family are medical providers and all that stuff. And a lot of us don't know, they would love to spend more time with their patients.
Yeah.
They would love to do that, okay? But there's time slots, and they have to do what they have to do to take as many people care as they want to,
It's funny to me.
So we're losing track of that, I believe.
As someone who's been in business for a long time, let me ask your opinion on this. I don't understand when people take their hands off the wheels with business, because you're in charge of your own destiny. You're in charge of your own business, right?
Absolutely.
So, obviously, I have the 6 condos in Myrtle Beach, and then we rent out. Obviously, there's certain times of the year I can take my hands off because they're going to be booked solid no matter what. Right? And then there's certain times when snowbirds are going to have them for several months, but you have a couple months gaps before and a couple months gaps afterwards. So you can sit back and be like, oh man, people aren't renting on Airbnb or BLBO. I don't understand that mentality, because my mentality is you should take that business and do everything you can to make it succeed. Listen to how simple I take it sometimes. Yeah. I'll get business cards and flyers made out, get a couple thousand of them, and staple them together and drive through neighborhoods in this area and put them in people's mailbox and let them know, hey, I'm a neighbor of yours in the Fort Mill, South Carolina area. Yeah. If you book through me, I'll give you 10% off, or in the off season 20% off. The business you get from that is crazy. Yeah. And people be like, oh, I'm above that. I don't need to do that. You don't. It's your business. Yeah. Who's going to do it for you?
Exactly right. Yeah. And you are your face, your business.
Exactly.
It's ironic you say that. So I went to a tractor supply company to get my deer corn this morning. There's a guy out there passing cards out. Okay. And I said, he's going to pass them out. I did blow him off beginning because I'm not from the area, you know. And I was thinking to myself, man, I was like, first of all, I like the fact he's out there doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I liked him right off the bat. I was like, because that's what I do. That's what you do. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think that's just what you should do, man. People know you are, you know. Yeah. You know. So, anyways, and then I'm in my deer corn. I'm like, man, because after I was thinking about after this, what am I gonna do today? I gotta get those damn pine needles right. Pine needles. I don't have a truck, man. Yeah. You know, I don't have a truck right here. So I'm driving my back here. I said, listen, I don't have a whole lot of work to do. I said, would you consider coming straight? He didn't know nothing about Charlotte. He didn't know where South Mac High School was. So I knew he didn't know much about Charlotte, even though we're still 10 miles away. Yeah. So I hear you. I get you. You know, I said, listen, would you consider picking me up? I'll give a certain amount of money like that. We'll get Pine News. I'm going to help you out there. I'll film out there with you, too. We'll be done in 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. We got it done for the afternoon. Okay? Yeah. And that never would happen if that guy was outside, tractor, trailer supply, or I need a deer corn today. Yeah. Right?
I mean, that's how life is. And it's funny, you know, people do know who I am, whether it's a motivational speaker, or podcast, or from my business, or anything that I've done. You know, obviously several years back, people started to really take notice. Yeah. And much respect, thank you to anyone and everyone that's ever supported me. Yeah. It's funny to me, people that I've met some really good people. I have some very successful friends. I keep very good people close to me. Some of my friends are you know, they're ahead of me. Some of them are right there with me. Some of them are behind me. The ones that haven't necessarily caught up, and they have their own business, sometimes I don't understand their strategies. They're not my businesses, so I'm not. You know,
you have to ask yourself what else better do you have to do?
Yeah, so I see them. They'll be like, man, business is slow for me right now. Right. Things are dried up, and I'll be like, well, have you tried this? And they'll be like, no. And I'm like, well, have you tried that? No. Okay. Well, what are you waiting on? Like, try it. I think people's pride and ego gets in the way and think that they're too good to do the small things. But let me tell you this, man. The small things are what makes you succeed.
Absolutely.
The small things are what make you succeed.
The day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's fun. There's a guy who was on. He was 98 years old. I think he was 90 years old. He's teaching a water aerobic chase in the YMCA. Okay, and I just had that class. I heard the last sentence right here. I always remember 98 years old to teach a class. Like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I hope I could do that. For real. But the thing he said, it just struck me right there. He goes, man. He goes, what advice you give anybody like that? He goes, the worst day you could ever have is waking up with nothing to do. Or not nothing to do, something to achieve to that point. I can't word it exactly.
No goals.
No goals. 98 years old, he said that. No, he said, I believe he said, working up with nothing to achieve that day or something to that, he had something to do that day.
The fact that he's 98 years old shows a lot because he keeps himself going.
He keeps himself going.
Yeah, he has a reason every day. Right.
So we're talking about business right now. It's like, I mean, I don't, you know, if you like TV also, I'm all for that too. I love some TV too, but you know, if you're running a business, you don't take days off. They're called vacations. You run your own business. Mm-hmm. You split that stuff out. But when you're in your daily day stuff like that, have something to do, even the small stuff to add to that. Yeah. You know, you get away from your business for like a week. Can you go away for a whole week?
Hell no.
I didn't think so. You're a 3-day dude, right?
In 3 days. Yeah. Man, they're pulling.
Right. Yeah. So that's same way. So that's just everybody's entitled to run their life, but you're right about business. If you want to be your business, you are your business. You be at your business, stuff like that. There's a lot of differences, remote business, stuff like that. But one of the business we need to be in touch with it, in tune with it.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, you know, someone listening might be like, well, what good is that? You're not enjoying life, or you got to take time for yourself. I know, and I think to myself, well, I'm not stressed about paying my bills.
Right.
You know, if I want to go take my boat out this afternoon, I can go take my boat out this afternoon.
Right.
So like, you know, you tell me what's what. You know,
well, I 100% agree, brother. Oh, why do you have to get so stressed out? So it's not stress. It's organization. We have stuff to do, and I don't get stressed about it. We just plan stuff in there, and it goes. We'll fall back. We'll just fall back and right to the fitness thing. If you don't have a plan, if you're not thinking about it, and it's your only body, the one thing you really can't purchase, okay?
Yeah.
Then you got a mistake going there, man. You got. When I say plan meals, you know, there's different levels of all that stuff. Okay, I'll give one example. Clean Eats, you know, they do that stuff for you out here. Mm-hmm. But you know, getting your meals, you're not planning your meals today. There's going to be a lot of mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, or get enough time underneath your belt to realize this amount of carbs that day or that day, that eating like that. You're not, because it goes back to people like, why are you doing this so hard? Like, no, I don't like Burger King, man. I don't like pizza because it hurts my stomach, and I don't do that. I do like it both. I do like all of them.
Yeah.
But it's 10%. 80% rule, 10-20% of the rule.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I when you don't have a plan for your food and you get hungry, that's when you make mistakes. Because you're just going to grab whatever.
You're going to double down.
Yeah.
You double down. In the food prep stuff, it's like there's so much food preps out there, folks. Whole Foods does it for you. Clean Eats is one of them right here. Everybody has their own thing right here, but you tell me where you can get vegetables, good vegetable carbs, rice and chicken on the corner of every city around here. It's few and far between. It's nothing fast.
HelloFresh will deliver straight to your door. No excuses.
There we go.
All right, so the next question I have for you is, what's your opinion on traditional Western healthcare versus alternative holistic healthcare?
Yeah, so that whole thing has come, the alternative thing, it's kind of come full circle right here, because what we're doing now, a lot of PTs are doing, and I want them to do PT because joint mobilization and spinal manipulation is important, okay? Acupuncture and other stuff like that. And I'm going to let you guys do your homework on your own. 23 years ago in the medical field, that wasn't talked about a whole lot, you know? And the use of medications were up, you know, and then the public brought us to holistic care, period, okay? But the traditional versus holistic, and you have to have traditional medicine. They're saving our lives every day, okay? That's not the issue. The issue is how much do we need in our lives, okay?
Exactly.
So I'll give you an example, okay? And I got a good friend. I hope I get him on your show because you really need to talk to this guy because he's a smart guy and he cares about people. He was my primary care physician, okay? And I told you we could have like 5-7 minutes of talking there because the guy's being timed, and I would go see the doctor like maybe once, twice a year.
Yeah.
But we became friends and exchanged numbers and stuff like that. And he's like, man, I wish we'd have more times like that. But we got talking like that. This is what he sees all day. He says, man, I'm really doing is upping insulin on these people. And then I said, well, because that's kind of your job, right? He goes, no, I don't think you understand, man. He goes, I'm upping insulin on a lot of our kids. He goes, we're getting adult levels of insulin coming in our kids and stuff like that. And there's no nutritional advice. There's a break in that whole thing right there. So you go into doctor and say, you got to change your diet. But when does that person go home? He goes, what, he's going to Google it or something? You know, does he change his diet? Why do these bodybuilders and these fitness people get so right, but we can't get it in a book to tell people?
Yeah.
Okay? For example, I mean, it's veggie chips. Okay? Veggie chips. Okay, they're not vegetables, man. I swear to God, I'm not here lying to you folks, man. Veggie chips, but you know, okay, maybe we should have put it on the label.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that to tell people that these aren't actual vegetables. You have to eat your actual vegetables right here.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're just to the point where, you know, this processed food in general, we just had some PSAs come and say, listen, man, this stuff's, I mean, you can eat it, but it's 80% of people's life, 80%.
I don't think people understand food. The food chart in America is not even right.
No.
It was made by corporations. It was kind of paid off and bought.
And I think like in 1950 something years old.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly.
Almost like the Rockefellers who changed modern medicine in America forever by realizing that they could put oil basically in our prescription drugs, and
Right.
to this day that they're still made off of it.
Right.
And you know all the side effects that come from taking
Correct.
prescription drugs.
Yeah.
The food system is kind of set the same way, and the food pyramid that we're taught is actually wrong.
Correct.
Which sucks, because then, you know, people go like, well, the food pyramid. Well, the food pyramid doesn't mean shit.
Right.
And doctors, no offense to doctors do not take nutritional courses to become doctors. They take doctor courses
Correct.
to become
And
doctors.
you're 100% correct with that.
You need to go see a nutritionist.
Correct.
Hire a nutritionist. Do research. Look it up.
Yep.
You are 100% right.
Yep.
You need real vegetables.
Yep.
Processed food is not good for you.
Not only is it good for it, it's killing us.
We're not in outer space.
Right.
So we don't need stuff to
Right.
preserve our food so we can have it for 2 years out there. We're on Earth. We can have fresh meat. We can have fresh vegetables.
Right.
We can have fresh fruit. We live in a society where it pushes bad stuff on you in every way possible, and food is no different. It's why when you go to every drugstore, every gas station, every convenience store, every grocery store, what do you see up by the checkout? You see candy, sweets, chocolates,
Yeah.
you know, because they know this impulse purchases and you're going to buy it. America's 67% overweight. It's the most obese country in the world. The second most obese is Mexico, and we're more than double theirs. And we act like we don't have a problem, and then we say this stuff where heavier people will say stuff like, I'm proud of my body, and you guys are body shaming. It's not about body shaming, it's about healthy life living. You're not living healthy. Your organs have stuff pushing on them. They're being moved. They have fat pushing on them. You're susceptible to diabetes, to common colds, to strokes, to heart attacks, to, you know, your organs failing on you. It's not shaming. It is actual facts of life.
It's more than just a facts of life. So I'm not into shaming either, okay, whatsoever, okay? But we got a bad habit. So I'll give you an example. I got this little side gym membership. It's really cheap, close to the house, and I'm not going to call them out. I hope I never get caught there. My friends would kill me. But I went in there because they have one of the branches of the gym had closed down. I need a little side place in there. It was cheap enough to do that, and there's like comfort zone and all this stuff like that. And I said, okay,
I think people already know what you're talking about.
I don't want to get sued, man. I don't want to get sued, right? Yeah, I know you're going. Yeah, we all know we're going right here. Okay, folks, get out of your comfort zone for 45 minutes to an hour. There's your workout. Am I wrong on this, man?
No.
Okay, I'm not saying to go out and converse with everybody. Put your headphones in. Put some heavy metal in. Put your hat down low. That's your comfort zone. Okay, quit looking around the gym. There's your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay, focus on what you're doing if you're not training with somebody.
Yeah, man.
Because every trainer, like that, that's what they have you guys to do. They have you guys focusing, your breaths are right, and all that stuff like that. That's what you should be doing. And then when you see the stuff running around, all like no comfort zone, I'm gonna give you another example right here. Not only did they put that on there, and then they shamed the guy with the muscle head shirt on there, and you can't carry a gallon of water in there.
Water's the most important thing in the world.
Right. And if he carries a gallon, or what's wrong with that guy does, or a different shirt under like that. So I want people being comfortable and stuff like that, but let's not overreact to that. And first of all, be kind. Help your brothers out. Help your sisters out. Don't shame people.
I agree.
You know? Because overall, if you're helping someone, because we do this all the time, right? Mm-hmm. We want people to be healthy. You know, we truly, truly do want people to be healthy. Because we know what the toll it takes on when you're not. Because we've had our own episodes of not being healthy. Yeah. You know, I've had my own episodes of not doing the right thing all the time, or not eating all the thing right here, you know, or not being the best man I am too. Well, we all go through stuff, you know? Yeah. So instead of shaming somebody or, oh man, you didn't work out just like that, so oh, that's cool. You can get back on track pretty easy, buddy. We all do it, right? Yeah. You took a week off, man, that's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, get a little rest in you, that's fine. You know, listen, man, if you get back in the gym, you're gonna get fat. That's not gonna work.
So the next question is, we've been on workout, but I wanted to ask you this. You're a workout guy like myself. Could you explain the importance to people that work out, but also the importance of routine maintenance to make sure your body is being taken care of properly?
Absolutely. So just like everything else, what's the soreness and everything like that. So we have our external soreness like that with the bigger muscle groups like that. Then we have the muscle groups that connect to the spine. Okay, they're very strong muscles. They're belt muscles and strap muscles, actually, what they're called. Okay, but they're smaller muscles. Okay, so where we're at now, the 18-year-old guy right there, he's going to be putting more pressure and more weight on there. Is a different example of what I want to treat that person to maintenance stuff like versus the 45-year-old guy is doing more intensity type stuff like that. But it doesn't matter; it's the same adjustment, okay? Because the spinal column, everything has a muscle attachment to it. There's not one space untouched in that area.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we are beautifully put together, by the way, too. So the scapulary, we got some muscle come under, some come over, stabilize external rotation, communicating with the arm all the way down, so on and so on, all up extremity, with scapular, all that stuff together, biomechanical chain. Well, eventually what happens here, the spine's going to quit moving with that muscle as much, okay? How do we know that? Well, lean your head back like that, okay? Is there pressure there? Are you feeling it down between your shoulder blades? Because you shouldn't be, and things like that. And there's pressure there. Or you're leaning backwards and you're feeling all that pressure in there, but it's not always there, but it comes back after we work out, someone like that. And you stretched out over your ball. You did all the stretching right here, but it's not going away. I'm at week number 3 and I still feel that pressure there, okay? So when I take that joint, zygopath joint, and open that up, okay, that gets that movement back there, okay? It gets integrity moved right there. You open up the joint, disc movements, okay? We're not moving your disc per se. Okay, where we're stretching open and rotating with zygopathial joint or where it connects right there. So it's a reset button, if you will, and that's what releases the pressure. Okay, the cavitation part. So in my office, we have to do things in multiple different ways. Okay, popping or adjusting the spine is one way of doing things. Okay, I have a lot of older patients and a lot of younger patients, so we do more, low force type adjustment and doing the decompression and doing the ultrasound. Yeah. But the decompression, that by itself will open up the joint and get blood flow into the tissue, so you can push down on it. Okay. We know compressed disc because it's very common. Mm-hmm. Everybody in just has some sort of compressed disc at some point in time or swollen disc. Okay. But you can't get the rotation of the spine. That's where the adjustment comes into place. Okay. Get in like that. So all you have to do is just look in the mirror. Lean to the right, lean to the left. Okay, how much more do you got? Okay, where do you get stuck? What do you feel like when you lean to the left? You can't lean to the left. And then a good chiropractor, he's going to sit down and explain that to you. He's going to explain, not again, if you're going in there just, if you're getting pop and roll, man, I mean, and you're not getting explained that chiropractors too, you need to explain this to your patient why you're supposed to be there.
You mean like the joint does people?
No, I wouldn't go with the joint because
they're pop and roll people.
Well, they're pop and roll people, but they're good chiropractors as well. So, Dr. Frank was my chiropractor. He works at the joint.
All right, so we're gonna.
I love you, my man. I would edit that. He's right here in Fort. He's actually in Rock Hill, South Carolina. But my chiropractor works at the joint, and he's got his own place as well. But yeah, I agree with that. So you have to address the soft tissue. So if you're going to your chiropractor, he adjusts you, doesn't last that long right there. Either talk to him about doing some ultrasound. Okay, you got to break up these adhesions, the ones that connect to the spine. Okay, so where the spine cuts, I'll tell you what exactly it looks like, because most men will know this about that, because we always cut open everything. If you look inside of a baseball, okay, or a golf ball, there's millions of fibers going all different directions. That's why the integrity is so good, and that's why we don't get so injured. Okay, over time, those little fibers will pull a little bit more with bad movements, with age, repair, too much compression right here. Okay, to repair them, we pull upwards. It comes upwards and repairs them. Okay, joint rotation is in the same joint rotation as it should be.
Gotcha.
Okay, so example. Okay, how's your shoulders feeling?
Shoulders are fine.
Okay, let me see your right arm. Lift your right arm for me like that. That one's good. Why don't you get that left arm if you can get it?
I take pretty good care of myself.
Yeah, all right.
Now, if you ask me about my elbows,
yeah.
I have tendonitis in my elbows, but I boxed and played sports the majority of my life.
And you're boxing
so
with all that?
Elbow stuff. So I have moments where the tendonitis will flare up, and I have to get the inflammation down. It's funny the way you described it. I was sitting here listening intensely because one of the doctors, one of the good ones that I met at Carolina Ortho Carolina. He broke it down. He showed me the x-rays of my arm, and he said, this is what's going on. He said, imagine you had a rubber band or a bungee cord or something, and you went like this and pulled it apart 1,000 times. You start to see little frays coming out.
Correct.
And he said, those feelings that you're feeling in your arm, and it hurts to touch right there, he said, what's happening is right now it's inflamed.
Yeah.
And those little frays, they're like touching, he's like, that's what that pain is that's hurting you right now. So, I did like what's it called, the TRT replacement, and that helped out a lot. And I had to get a cortisone shot a couple times, but they're fine right now, but they have their moments. Their elbows flare up. Boy.
Absolutely. And with those type of joints too, the elbow, so when you come into me, so we'll treat you with ultrasound, dry needling. You can actually adjust the elbow and the wrist. Okay, so that can give you some relief. But we're not going to let it linger like that. If by the third time you come in there and it changes it there, because I can pretty much tell you at some point in time how bad it is, especially when it gets to the ulnar nerve. Okay, yeah. So when ulnar nerve walks in my office right there, I'm always open. I'm like, listen, we might have to get another doctor involved with this kind of overstretched nerve. It's different than the radial nerve. Okay. And the anatomy is different, okay? Because a lot of times we treat that, we'll give it a couple times. But if you don't do that, cortisone shots, there's nothing wrong with cortisone shots.
No.
I don't know where people go. If you get a lot of them, of course, but you're not going to get a lot of them.
No. I've had 3 my whole life.
Right. And one of the reasons we use cortisone shots, like especially with bursitis, I can't get to it. I know by the third visit, I can't get to that.
Because they put it inside the muscle.
Oh yeah, but it goes down. It goes into gets into your bloodstream and then things are repaired. But the spine wise, let's give you an example right here. Okay, you're getting back into shape and stuff like that, but you're feeling tightness in your lower back every time you go walk. Okay, all right, and then you can always give time. In my office, I'll teach you how to stretch the thing first of all, and then you stretch it. But it's not gonna just loosen up all of a sudden. Okay, we're 3 months into it. It will be a year before you know it. And every time you go to the casino and walk around for an hour or whatever you're doing, or walk in the mountain or whatever you like to do, it's going to get stiff every time. You come get the adjustment, get the movement in there, okay, and keep moving. Like I said, we want to keep everybody moving.
So I try to tell people sometimes, because some people feel like if they're in a good spot right now, they're not going through any pain. And they're regular workout people and stuff, I tell them that they should still do routine maintenance. And what I mean by that is I tell them that even though you're not feeling no pain right now, you're working out on a regular basis. So you should stretch every day. You should maybe go see the chiropractor once a month and go see the massage therapist once a month. Just so you're keeping your body fresh, revitalized, healthy, and taking care of it. Because if you're going to beat it down every day working out, you look physically good from that, but your body's taking a beating. So do the things to revive your body. Stretch, go see a chiropractor, go see a massage therapist.
And listen, if you're the type of person like I am, I need a little bit more than just someone telling me what to do. I need, I love you, brother. Great advice, man. But there's plenty of research on that stuff here. So you talked about the adhesions and muscles like that. That's been well documented, especially Swedish type stuff like that. The Swedish and stuff like that. A lot of studies on that. And if what I do is it doesn't do what massage therapists do, because massage therapists, they come in there breaking all those fibers of that muscle. Okay, and it's needed. It's needed. So we talked about the spine. If you got a muscle, just go rogue here. You're extending your spine right here. It's like the doctor. That's a perfect example, by the way, too. It frays. So it's pulled this way over and over and over again right there. Well, you could do that. You did your cortisone shot, but now let's address the muscle come down here. Is it pulling on it too hard? Why it's being pulled on too hard? And with your massage, I would say about every month to get a good massage too. And you need 20 pounds of pressure. So, I mean, that's just the bottom line. That's a good thumb in your back right there. Anything lighter than that, you're not going to stimulate these called fibroblasts. And if you don't stimulate those fibroblasts, we're going to have a hard time getting that collagen to where it should be at.
Get that deep tissue massage.
You got to get deep tissue massage right there. And then you always have time to do the lighter stuff as well. But if for therapeutic reasons, especially if you're working out, they need to get in there and do that 20 pounds of pressure, even 30 pounds of pressure to do that.
Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to touch on, like going back what we was talking about when I asked you about holistic care versus Western care. Obviously, if later today I fall down, I break my arm, I need to go to the hospital.
Oh, absolutely.
I need to get my arm sanded. I need to get a casket on. I need to get. But the issue is, I think too many people don't take care of themselves They let themselves go, they run themselves into the ground, and then they run to the doctors or a hospital.
Looking for miracles.
Looking for a miracle pill.
No.
And too many people live their life like that. And unfortunately, whether you want to believe this or not, this is the truth. The medical system in America is a money system.
Correct.
And they're going to throw pills at you, and they're going to want you to come back. And these pills they're giving you, they might help with a particular problem you have, but they're going to also cause several other issues for you. So you might be curing one a little bit, but causing 4, 5, 6 other things. So much of this stuff is
preventable, man.
Yeah, so much of this stuff you can prevent, man, if you just take care of yourself. Go see this man. Go see a chiropractor. Go see a massage therapist. Stretch every day. Eat. Drink your water. Take your vitamins. Take care of yourself. And if you do these things, you won't have to depend on running to the emergency room and the doctors to get these fake quick fixes that aren't necessarily there for that. A medical system is there if you get in a car wreck, if you break your arm, like I said, if you're diagnosed with cancer, stuff like that. The medical system is there for that. Unfortunately, the medical system is used for the wrong thing, and it almost puts you on a merry-go-round that you can't get off of.
Yeah, so if you're just talking about the other side effects of drugs, so how about what, man? Let's work on getting that, not letting our blood pressure get out of control like that before that. Because once you're on it, it's gonna be hard to get off of it. And then once you go to high blood pressure, we're about increasing different things, because we're cholesterol level. It's the cholesterol drug, same thing. Mm-hmm. So not you're on 1, but now you're on 3 because of that 1. Now if I think it's people over 70 take 7 or more medications a day, and 70's young now. So again, we're not shading the medical community. We're not saying that. We're trying to get you more active so you don't end up in your office, like you said, like as a train wreck. Yeah. Because sometimes they don't have the option to. You let things go, man. They're just doing what they can at some point in time, But we should get that medical system should be also getting, or a system in general, get that message out before we get there.
I don't have anything necessarily, because I like to judge people for people.
Yeah.
I don't like to throw people in big groups. I like to meet people and judge people for who they are. I know 3 chiropractors personally very well.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them, they make money from their jobs,
right.
but they enjoy their jobs.
Oh, absolutely.
They enjoy helping people. Yeah. I know several massage therapists, they're the same way.
Yeah.
They enjoy helping people. I don't think people think of like this old school mentality when it comes to like hospitals and doctors' offices and stuff, and they think like, all these doctors, they're here to help us. No, they're running a business. And,
right.
and most of these doctors these days, they're owned by corporations, whether that's Atrium Health or Novant Health or Piedmont or whatever. These are company men working for big companies, and they are run like companies. And to those companies, you are nothing but another number coming through the system. I'm not saying that they're all bad people or that you can't meet good doctors like the gentleman you mentioned, or the doctor that I have is a pretty good guy. But don't go there thinking that you're going back in the old school to see the neighborhood family doctor.
Right.
You're going to these corporations that are run like corporations and that have one agenda, and that is to make as much money as possible.
And get involved in your own health, man. Read up on what they're saying in your home. Get involved with it. Read up on your own stuff on there. Don't go try to TikTok it or anything like that. Read up on it. Read up on it. Why this is I'm taking this right here. What can I make my changes right there? Those dietary changes are on there. Okay, but you have to get to once, and that's the other thing too. We should have good government resource to get the correct information out. Do you not agree?
Yeah.
But that's not
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing because you said don't TikTok it. And I was thinking in my head, I'm making short of that.
Yeah, well, no. When I say TikTok it, that you can make a short of that right there. TikTok I love TikTok actually. Okay, but I'm just saying, there's out there people giving just that real quick anecdotal advice about how to take care of your health. It's not like that, okay? You go to WebMD and get your results all day long that you need to do that,
yes,
okay?
Sir.
A lot of us are looking up stuff all the time anymore. Books are non-existent anymore. It's easy. Mm-hmm. So when you get to the area, like, what else could you do? I said, well, get on the internet if you want to, but first of all, like, let's talk about, I'll be straight with you, man. If you're having trouble with your health, trouble with your weight, and you're getting your numbers down there, you need to call a nutritionist and your trainer, period.
Yes. A licensed, certified nutritionist.
And same with the trainer, man. I wouldn't. You could try to do it yourself a little bit, but I'm telling you, I made so many mistakes. And then a good friend of mine, Eric Khan, actually, brilliant dude, nutritionist now. He's got a PhD there now in nutrition. He sat me down because like no one ever sat me down. I was like, Dr. Mike, man, that's all sugar. Because I was eating concentrated, what we thought was berries in the morning. He goes, if you want that, he goes, like, if you really want that, you really should do it first thing in the morning. He eventually finally sat me down and said, man, don't do your sugars in the morning. Or your high carbohydrates. Your body's going, he wants that. Go leave this, that protein, that digestion is going to slow all that stuff down. How do we figure this stuff out?
Yeah, if you don't know, you definitely. It's like anything else. It's crazy.
But how do we get everybody to a nutritionist?
Well, I will say this: we find time in this life for what's important to us.
Absolutely.
Put your health at the forefront of the importance levels. Yeah. Because if you want to drink, you'll find a way to have a beer.
Oh, absolutely.
If you want to watch a TV show, you'll find a way to watch a TV show. If you want to chase a woman or a man, you'll find a way to chase that woman or man. You will find time for what's important to you. The unfortunate part is most people don't make their health a top priority in their life. But if you decide to make it a top priority in your life, you will make time for it. You'll find a nutritionist. You'll find a trainer.
And I think you have to. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to. So again, it's not too hard. Again, it's very easy to see. Look around you. Look around your family, stuff like that. It's not.
You just said Google, right?
Yeah.
Google a nutritionist close to you.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So and don't think it's not going to happen to you because it is, man. You know, if you're eating fast food or you're just eating one good meal and then fasting throughout the day and taking, so you're going to start your carbohydrates. You're just going to get bigger, even though it's good food.
You're going to get bigger because you're going to put your body in starvation mode.
Yeah, right.
When your body doesn't know that it's going to get food again and you only eat once a day, what happens is your body goes into starvation mode, and instead of your body processing the food like it should, it holds onto it and stores it because it's scared. It doesn't know when it's going to get fed again.
Right.
So that's actually not good at all to eat once a day.
And folks, that's a fact. You don't have to debate that. That's what actually happens.
Yes.
We know that. So you're waiting. You're thinking you only eat one meal a day, but the biggest mistake you ever make on losing weight, I'll guarantee you that.
Because you're not going to lose weight.
You're not going to lose weight.
Your body's going to hold on to the fat. Yeah.
And because I made that mistake, you're going to blow it up too. You're going to blow up big time in the stomach. That's what.
Don't listen to me. He's a doctor.
Yeah. Well, what he said though, but again, you said it yourself. We don't get that type of education. We get some nutrition right there, chemistry chemistry background for all this stuff like that. Most of my stuff is just because I seek it out like you and everybody else like that, and we all should seek it out. But there's not really I like to see a better guide of doing that. Doing that. But bottom line is you still need a nutritionist and all the other things in there to do that.
You find time to watch TV. You find time to play on social media. You find time to drink beer.
Amen.
You find time to hang out with your friends.
Yep.
You find time to chase tail. You find time to goof off. You can find time to work out and eat well. All right, so let's move on to the next question. What's your favorite part about living in Charlotte, man?
Ooh, it's a lot. First of all, the weather is absolutely incredible. Okay? When I say incredible, coming from the Midwest, it could be 30 one day and sun would come out here. The sun's out here every day. The second thing is how clean and beautiful it is. There's not many cities like this around. I don't think there's any actually. Maybe Indianapolis isn't like that. It's a beautiful city, man, and we got a lot of good people down here. I know if you look at the news, we got our own issues and stuff like that, but overall, we have a lot of people that care in this area. And when you get over that state line here in South Carolina, you're in a whole different world down here, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a really tight. I think it's a very tight community, in my opinion.
It is.
Yeah.
Like obviously we're right here on the border, like a mile away from the border. I love Charlotte. I came to Charlotte because I thought it was a growing city. It was a lot of opportunity, and that I would be able to have massive success in a city. Yeah. That has access to everything, but it's not like a New York City where it's too much. Yeah. Because that's too much for me. I don't want to be in a sardine can. So it has been beautiful to me. It has allowed me to thrive and do all the things that I wanted, and has given me every opportunity, and I've been able to take advantage of it and succeed. I come across the border right here. I'm a mile across the border, but I'm still like, I'm 7 miles away from downtown. Yeah. So like, I will say that I don't want to go back across the border because of the pettiness over there. Like the taxes for the houses are 3 times more expensive.
Yeah.
The car inspections,
Yeah.
the petty rules, the stuff they do to people's businesses, and all the extra fees and
Can I
stuff.
add to that business thing real quick though?
Yeah.
So you're right about the business stuff in there. It's gotten ridiculous.
Yeah.
So building permits in general. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we did some working off right there. They told us in there, one guy came and said, "You put your electrical box here." Okay. We did that, passed the section. 2 weeks later, a guy comes and says, "You got to put here." And then we had a third date, so about a month and a half later, do that. It happens, Charlotte, folks. I don't think that communication's not there.
Yeah.
You know, just too big, too fast.
Yeah, and the roads are not prepared for how many people have moved here.
No.
So that traffic is a nightmare here.
Yeah.
You know, I understand traffic's a nightmare. I've been to California and Miami and Atlanta, and the traffic's not the best there, but it's not the best here neither.
No.
The infrastructure was built a little backwards because obviously like the Independence East Side blew up back in the day, so they built those big roads there. But that's not the part of the city over the last 20 years that has really grown and thrived. That's where the 85 and 77's at, and those roads just...
And they also abandoned the East Side.
They did.
After they screwed it up. It's one of the most beautiful sides of Charlotte.
Yeah.
And what's really bad about it, Seaside is just some of the nicer parks and stuff like that. That's what they did right there, basically. Okay? And now, by the face that everything else is taken up, people are going to start moving back to the East Side, which I wouldn't mind, finding a house over there as well. But you're correct. That's what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, plus I'm on the lake right here. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Right.
But yeah, no, overall, man, I love Charlotte, and I'm thankful that this is where I chose to come.
Same here. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so if you could change one thing, this is a good one now.
I know.
This is a good one.
I don't know.
I'm curious to hear your answer too. If you could change one thing to make America better, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a big one. Encouragement. We talked about before. Go out and help people. Okay? To change it, get out of your own head and help people out. Okay? Look around you. Be part of your community. Okay? You're not bigger than your overall picture. We're an ant mound. We work together.
That's a good analogy.
We have to work together. Okay? So every time you think you're on an isolated island right here, just picture looking down an ant hole. We're all working together. Most of us don't know each other, but the common good is there. Okay? To provide food, growth, everything like that. Ant hill's probably not the best analogy.
No, that's actually a really good analogy.
But that's what we're doing here together. So when you're having a bad day, sit down and say, listen, man, because it does help. Say, I'm a bad day, I'm mad, like that. How can I help somebody else? Because it actually helps you. What can I do? Like, what can I just get outside your own head for? Maybe that's the way it works. I don't know. But get out there, be more community, man. Pat a brother, sister on the back. Let's get up, man. Let's help out. I see too much. I just see too much damn judgment out there, and I don't think it helps. And the type of judgment that your judgment to the point where you're kind of a coward judging people, just hiding in your little hole saying it. I don't need that harsh on that, but be cool, man. Just seriously, be cool. Quit honking your horn at people in traffic, man.
I agree. I really liked your answer on that, and BTBU stands for Be the Best You. So like my company, and my brand and everything, and most people that know me, like even if you look me up on YouTube, my YouTube channel, or the name of this podcast, my fitness company, Instagram, everything is laid out on BTBU, which stands for Be the Best You. It was a concept that I came up with about 15 years ago as I was going through a transformation of growing up and becoming a better man and changing my life, and decided that not only would I change my life for the better, but I would spend the rest of my life helping other people change their lives for the better, whether that's mentoring kids, doing life coaching, fitness coaching, or just talking to people, speaking. I told you I just spoke last week. Bambino came and filmed me speak a couple weeks ago. I agree with what you said. There's too much of putting down. Right. And not enough uplifting. We don't uplift each other enough. We put each other down all the time, but we don't uplift each other. And we've become a nation that is addicted to drama.
Right.
And unless we remove this drama out of our lives and put some love and respect and kindness back in our hearts and towards other people, unfortunately, I struggle to see the grand scheme of change, because we as people need to come together, like you said, in an ant farm, and realize that we're all together and build together instead of pulling apart, to get that love and kindness and decency and respect back. I try to do it on a small level. If I go somewhere and I speak and there's 1,000 people in the room and I can reach 3, then 3 have been reached. I agree 100%. I think that people need to remove some of the negative things in their lives and replace them with positive things, whether that is gossiping. Instead of gossiping, maybe giveaway. Instead of eating bad, maybe eat good.
Right.
If you have an old lady that lives on your neighborhood, offer to cut her grass. It doesn't matter. Be kind to strangers. Be nice. Put positive energy out there. And I watched a video yesterday, and I showed my wife, because I have been preaching this for years. If you go to my YouTube channel and you watch my speeches, you will see that what I'm saying is 100% true, that I have spoken this over and over and over. And yesterday I showed her someone else saying the same thing on the stage. And they said that America is the world is broke down in 3 phases, which is your uber rich, your poor, and then everybody in the middle.
Yeah.
The uber rich pull all the strings.
All of them.
And take all the money.
Yeah.
And how they do it is they keep everyone else distracted.
Right.
So what they do is they give everybody else race, religion, gender, politics, all the silly stuff to fight over constantly. And it's the same thing they've been giving you for years and decades and centuries. They literally give you the same stuff to fight about and keep you distracted. And as long as they keep you fighting amongst each other and distracted, you can never realize what's going on. And that is them separating with the majority of the money. And they keep the middle class working and paying for everything and fighting. And then, obviously the poor, which gets the handouts from the taxes that are taken from the people that do the majority of the work, which makes them dislike them, which still keeps people at odds. It's a system set up strategically to keep the people at odds. How else do you think that 400 people could be in office in America and control 400 million people?
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So
sometimes people with 50 years of clip sometimes too.
Yes.
So I agree. I'll just throw another gem out there too. If you've been in Congress for 25 years and in your area that you're at has not improved, what's going on with that? I'll tell you what's going on. The guy above that, the guy pulling the screens you're talking about, is getting them to work with that. But you really need to kind of question some of that stuff in there. I mean, it's not you should question it. Period.
10% of the world controls 90% of the money. Man.
Yeah.
The other 90% of the world fights for the other 10% of the money that's left over. And that divide has been getting bigger and bigger, and we don't understand it because they'll throw some racist events in our face for us to fight about.
Oh, absolutely.
Or some, religious events in our face to fight about. Or some political events in our face to fight about.
The media is getting rich off you guys clicking and getting followed and getting upset about that stuff. They're race baiting. I never saw anything like that. They're race baiting in every title possible too, okay? So you really distract from the real focal things. Of course there's racism, man. Of course there's racism. Of course there's bigotry and all that stuff like that. When you throw these little bits right here, the media just kind of throws out when it's not that or whatever. They're just throwing everything's racist like that. It gets muddled, like you just said. Everything gets muddled.
Yeah.
It gets confused.
Yeah.
I'm not too impressed with it. The only thing I can say about this is try to get as less media in your life that you can.
Yeah. I agree.
But the internet stuff, they're race baiting, the bigotry, and I'm not even going to go with this whole transgender stuff like that. But they're saying they're doing one thing to science, and then it's not really what science we're using here. So I'm confused. I need some clarity on that stuff as well. But I'm not going to get it from reading the newspaper. I know
and so I watched a video the other day. I don't watch a whole lot of like social media stuff or news stuff, but someone that I really like and respect sent me this. It was a 12-minute video, and I watched it. and they were basically saying that if you've been a Democrat for the majority of your life, all that changed about 10 to 15 years ago. And what it would always have been considered a Democrat until about 10 or 15 years ago is now considered a conservative.
Yeah.
And it was showing how people push to get equal rights for this. People push to get, and I mean like same-sex marriage and different stuff like that. And they pushed to get all these agendas, and they met those agendas. But then that wasn't enough. They had to do different stuff. Like now men competing against women and beating them and taking their records. Men going in women's bathrooms while they still have men parts and stuff, or teaching elementary school kids about, same on same sex when they haven't even been taught about the opposite sex yet. So I am not against people being themselves or being who they want to be.
Absolutely not.
But I am against agendas being pushed.
Absolutely.
And I am against ludicrous thoughts. And a ludicrous thought is you telling me that a man that has been a man for, let's just say, 40 years, that changed his mind and decides he wants to identify as a woman and still has a penis, can go in the bathroom and stand next to my 9-year-old daughter. That's not how she should encounter that for the first time in her life. And if you're trying to argue to me that that's okay, I don't understand that. And if your argument to me is to say, well, they're not perverts, or they're not a problem, or they're not...
That's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
That's not the issue at all.
That's not the issue.
Yeah.
Why? My 9-year-old daughter is going in the woman's bathroom.
Right.
In privacy, because that's there for a woman. To go in there, be private, to do her private stuff in there.
And you being a parent, being responsible for that person, yes, you do have a say with that.
Yeah.
Someone should not be making that decision for you. And you can say the opposite, so on and so on. I bet there's going to be a resolution, hopefully there's some resolution down the road right now, but not the way they're handling it right now.
No, because it's either you're extreme this way or extreme that way, which is crazy.
Well, to be honest, when we first brought it up, I got a little nervous for a second, but I'm ready to go on with this right now because I totally agree with you. Yeah. And you and I both have all kinds of diverse friends, okay? Yeah. Everything. And I know trans people too. I love it. It's not that. It's the fact that whether your daughter should be competing against a person that's a male, because I don't know, in my science classes, man, there was definitely a lot of differences between that. Yeah. Not just like that. Hormone-wise, for sure.
I mean, you have an X chromosome or a Y chromosome. Yeah. You're running off of estrogen or testosterone. You can pump fake stuff into your body, but that doesn't change a lot of stuff.
But where's the science behind that? Where's the science behind that? And number two, were we just shaming other people for like putting steroids in their body just like to what, 10 years ago now? Yeah. And now you want to do it to your kids?
I mean, didn't they just cancel the Liver King because he was taking steroids? Is that the guy that just got canceled?
Yeah, I think he couldn't come back. Yeah.
So he got canceled because he was taking steroids. But we're pumping these young kids for this stuff.
For example, yeah.
And I have got a very open mind. Anyone that knows me, man, Bambino has known me for years. Like anyone that knows me for years knows that I am super chill.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You can't push crazy agendas on me. And if I say, whoa. Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm extremist. No, I'm not extremist. Right. If you listen, there's about 10% that screams real loud this way, about 10% that screams real loud this way, and then there's about 80% of us that are in the middle are like, what the fuck
I know, and I agree with that. And I agree with that too. So let's just get back to the basics. So when it first came up to talk about the science right here, well, here's the science because male and female. The reason they're pumping hormones in effect is that males are more have testosterone. Women have to be 15% more estrogen, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
In their bodies. Okay, so you're going to put testosterone in an adolescent body now.
So I'm not going to say I agree with this entire statement, but I am going to say when I read this, I was like, whew, that is some serious truth right there. Riley Gaines is suing that guy, Liv Thomas, that's the swimmer that's breaking the record, that beat her out and broke the records. So it showed a picture. She put a side-by-side picture of him on Twitter. Right. One of him competing one year and him competing the next year. One, he has short hair and a goatee, and he finished 454th as a man. The next year he switched over, he grew his hair out, he shaved his goatee off, and now he competes as a woman.
Did Riley take more estrogen so she can be a woman?
Well, Riley's one that's suing him. This guy lives on his...
What did the athlete do? Take more estrogen to make him more woman-like? I don't understand what happened.
He identifies as a woman, and
but there's no hormone.
I'm not sure to dig into that.
Yeah, I would like to know more of that. So listen, folks, I'm open-minded just like him too. I would like to know more of that. I think the compromise. I think everyone should go get along. There's ways to help this. But these are some serious facts here.
But
man.
you go from 454th as a man to second overall as a woman, and she was saying you honored this guy as a woman athlete of the year, and this and that and everything. And she was like, he shouldn't be honored. He's stealing from us. He's not a natural. And so like, I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to say that is a 6'4" man that now is identifying as a woman. There should be a man's, a woman's, and a trans league for people to compete at.
Yeah.
Because I watched a video the other day where a senator was asking this guy.
Yeah.
He said, have you ever heard of Mike Tyson? And the guy was talking. He's like, yeah. And he said, so if Mike Tyson decided today he wanted to identify as a woman, do you think that it should be fair for him to get in the ring and start fighting women? And the guy was like, and the senator was like, well, you just said what you identify as is what you should be able to compete as.
Right.
So should Mike Tyson be able to compete against women today if he starts identifying as a woman?
Right.
And the guy couldn't give a direct answer. He, tiptoed around and everything. My friend Doug, he made a good comment the other day. He said, I'm going to give you a good example, Larry. He said, I support most of the stuff that's going on, but I do not support people that change their gender competing against women's, and this is why.
I agree.
He said, Larry, if you decided today that you wanted to identify as a woman, you could go break every woman weightlifting record there is.
Right.
And he was like, how fair is that?
It's not fair.
He was like, you already outlift all of us guys.
Yeah.
If you would decide you wanted to be a woman today, you would crush all the records.
Yeah.
He said that's not fair, man.
Yeah, absolutely, it's not fair. And in the meantime, too, we'll do another skin on this too. Listen, we feel this way. We would have a trans leader like that. In the meantime, quit beating these people up as well, too.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, just leave them alone. If you don't like them, that's fine. Leave them alone or befriend them when you want to do it right there. They're not the one making these laws for you.
No.
Okay?
I agree with that.
I'll be quite frank with you. I agree 100% like that. I wonder if we can see. Let's see if is there any WNBA player that could compete in the NBA right now?
I don't think none of them would make the roster.
I don't think they would make the roster either. And if I'm wrong, I'd love that. Anybody write and tell me I'm wrong if it's ever happened. Yeah. I'm sure some are close, I don't even know about that. No. Because there's physical differences between us right there, okay? And, women can do just the same. Women do everything a man can do. They can't do. We're not talking about that. We're talking about competing levels.
No, man.
Physical differences and competition levels.
I have daughters and I have an amazing wife. And I tell my wife how amazing she is every day. She's so smart. She's so talented. She's so awesome. My daughter's the same thing. I've always told them you can do anything, everything. But they're women.
Right.
Right? So, they shouldn't be competing in a sport against a man, though. Could she get a job based on her brain or her education level over a man? Yeah. Absolutely.
We're talking physical contact like that.
Yes.
And then I want to see some of these things try to integrate this transition into a football field and what physically is going to happen to that person. Is that what it's going to take before they realize there's a difference between all this going on here? Are we going to take from let's say a 17-year-old female, just give her some testosterone and then let her go out and play football,
Or we can just take the 10% that screams real loud this way, the 10% that screams real loud this way.
Yeah.
We could take them and shove them over there and let them scream at each other. Yeah. And then the 80% in the middle that has sense like me and you, we could say, all right, let's make some sense of this.
Yeah.
Let's let the men compete against the men, the women compete against the men, and the trans compete against the trans.
Right.
And while we do that, let's also make this clear. Stop discriminating against people.
Yeah.
Because these people live in their lives just like the rest of us. All we're doing is we're just being rational and making solid decisions.
Right.
Let's not hate on people. Let's not discriminate against people. Yeah. You shouldn't be talking junk to them. They shouldn't be talking junk to you. Let's use our minds. Let's be elevated with our brains and the way we think, and let's come up with solid decisions that actually make sense.
Yeah. And if you're
sense.
And if you're outwardly being aggressive toward these people, you need to Google. Okay, we'll go through Google stuff. their suicide rate is exceptionally high. Okay, if you want that on the bill of your hat, knock yourself out. I don't. Okay. Yeah. Again, end of the day, we're all human beings, man. Yeah. And what's good about us, what makes this life interesting, is we're also different. Because if we're in the same cardboard box, man, I don't know if we're sitting here, dude. No. I really don't, because I don't really got nothing to talk about.
People will be like, I don't want to hear what they say. Everyone else sounds exactly the same.
All right, exactly right. You know, again, go back to be cool, stuff like that. If you need to be a little, go outside your box and be a little cooler. You see someone working, it's like, hey, how you doing? Just being nice. You don't have to start asking trans questions. Just be nice to the person like with everybody else. That's what they're looking for, I imagine, right?
Yeah. Okay. They want to be treated equal.
So
let's treat them equal.
Right.
And when I say treat them equal, let's treat them like we would treat every other human being. And so when I say equal, I have always been an advocate for women's rights.
Absolutely.
I have daughters. I have a wife. I have plenty of women that I've mentored, coached, talked to, respect, looked up to. Let's not overlook these women.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's respect people that are gay. Let's respect people that are trans. Let's respect them and their rights. But let's also not forget about our women in this country and our women in this world. Let's show respect to the women, because we are disrespecting our women. We're pushing their rights to the side. Women were held back for a long time in this country, and they finally got to a point with the Me Too movement and the women empower movement and the feminist movement where women finally are almost equal to men in every aspect that they wanted to be. And I say almost because we're not perfect. There's still areas where it could be better. Let's stop pushing them to the side. Let's stop pushing their feelings to the side. Let's hear what they have to say. Let's not just disregard women and how they feel about this situation, because I think they've been speaking pretty loud and clear,
and they have
that they feel that this isn't right.
And it's not a lot of the stuff that they're talking about. So they're absolutely 1,000% right on it, and I agree with that. Job pay, like you do the exact same pay, different pays. That shouldn't exist, right?
Yeah.
And that's in time that needs to be abolished. But like you said, it's always that 10 this way, 10 that way. It's just that's pulling the thing, just complete disproportion. That's why nothing's getting done.
Exactly.
So
all right, so let's kind of wrap this up, man. I got 2 quick questions for you, real quick. How important do you think it is to have a mentor or a confidant close to you?
Extremely. Okay. Man, you need a good friend in your life, but you need a mentor too. And if you don't have one in your life, seek it out, even if it's visualized like that. I've got to pump myself up some days. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. That's what it is. I like to pump myself up, tell out your stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's some days I don't wake up as strong mentally as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Okay? I reach out to my mentor. I reach out to those people I really, really respect. And I think it's very important.
Super.
And not just, when you come on mentoring from young people, it's a lifetime thing.
I'm a 75-year-old man that I'm thanked and blessed that I have in my life, that I've been getting relationship advice the last several years, and he's been married for 52 years. And I have, in my opinion, one of the best relationships with my wife that I've ever seen with my own eyes. We have an amazing relationship. I'm thankful and blessed for that every day, and I'm also thankful and blessed that I have John Miller in my life, because he has given me such sound and good advice when it comes to relationships. It has helped me beyond words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my father. Mm-hmm. We've not always. He's had some kids, man. He's got a busy life. But we've never always been. We've had ups and downs, blah 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 like that. But at the end of the day, I always see. I always respect him for first of all what the man he is.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I was taking a little pot, little teenagers do, because that's what kids do.
Yeah.
That's what kids do. But now looking back to that, and I think right here, if I need a template for how to treat women, or to how to treat family, to keep the cohesive like that, not always talking, but more listening.
Yeah.
I'm learning that more a day from him every day. A little less talking, a lot more listening, right? I know.
So guys, if you're listening, I'm going to tell you one little piece of advice. Make sure you have real men close to you and not just yes men. Yes men will always tell you yes. A real man will tell you yes and no. Keep that in mind. Last question I got for you, man. If you could give the people watching or listening one piece of a motivation or advice, what would it be?
To keep moving. Okay? it's like we said something earlier in the show about this, like that. To keep moving is the fact that not sitting around. What's what I want to say, right? To keep moving, of course, I'm a chiropractor, we keep your spine moving, right? That's what I'm talking about here. We keep moving, have something to do every day. Sit down and plan it. Life's not that sad, okay? But it gets very confusing when you're not taking the time to think about it, you know? If that takes a little less espresso in your life, whatever you got to do that. And I recommend the morning. What do you say about that? Night or morning guy?
Yeah, I mean, to me,
you gotta do it that night for the morning, right?
Well, to me, as long as you have your mindset right, I feel like you have to have, like you said on several occasions in this town, you have to have goals and agendas for the day. If not, you're just like a leaf blowing whichever way the wind decides to blow you.
Absolutely.
But if you have a structured goals throughout the day of what you need to accomplish for each day, it gives you a purpose to keep moving, to keep going forward. So if I wrote down 8 for today, I need to knock those 8 out.
Yeah.
So I can't get distracted to the point that I don't reach these 8 goals for the day.
Absolutely. And if you like matter of fact, everybody does like that. You got 50 things flying through your head that day, okay? And you're not really accomplishing. You're picking and you're getting little hairs of it, but you're not getting like that. Okay? Just remember, then you just stop and say, keep on moving, pick that one thing, get that one thing done first. I promise you, it cascades after that.
Yeah.
You know?
So, for everyone that's watching or listening, let them know how they can find you, whether it's a website, a social media handle, an email, telephone, address, whatever you would like to give them.
Okay. It's Carlisle Chiropractic Clinic. I'm on the corner of South Boulevard and Tyvola. What you need to know, we're in the right heart of Charlotte, right behind the light rail, the Tyvola station. Right next to Biolabs right there. We're in the back there. We've been there for, I think, what we said, 40 years, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
I work weekends, okay? One thing that's going to get when we talk about here, when you leave my care, I'm going to teach you how to stretch your back properly, okay? And then we'll send you to a trainer to strengthen that, okay? And quit cracking your back like that, quit cracking your neck. It's creating a lot of, like it's fraying that ligament. Like we talked about your elbow.
Yes.
You stop doing that.
Is there a website or email where they can get in touch with you?
Yes, it's CarlisleChiropracticClinic.com.
All right. So you have the information. Now it's on you. We just said you're going to find time for what you find important in life. So what do you find important? Listen, man, if you guys have tuned in today's episode, whether you're watching or listening, man, please take the time to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about the video. Let us know topics that you liked and topics that you would like us to discuss in upcoming videos. Until the next time, man, it's been another episode of the Be the Best You podcast. Try until you fly.